Gratitude. Today is about gratitude. Our flow today, when I'm recording this, is right around Thanksgiving in the year 2020. So it's an interesting year, and many of us, with Thanksgiving and the holidays approaching, gathering looks different, feels different, and for many of us that means being away from friends and family. And I just want to offer up a gratitude practice that allows us to use that space of introspection and solitude to really start to kind of dig into the things that we're grateful for. And so our practice today is going to have physical elements in it that are very introspective and allowing you to kind of go inward, and then elements that are a little bit more expressive and expansive, which I think balance out nicely to allow you to kind of express that gratitude into the world. For our practice today, it will be very simple, very feel-good, helping your nervous system, kind of easy poses. And so this is suitable for all levels. You will need a yoga blanket, or you can see this kind of like a thicker blanket, or a bath towel works really nicely too. So I'm just kind of set that aside for now, and we will incorporate it as we need it through our flow. So with that, let's come into child's pose to begin. If you happen to be on like a harder floor, I've got carpet, so I don't need anything under my knees, but you could take that towel or blanket and put it under your knees for a little support. Same thing if you have a lot of space between your heels and your hips, you can put a blanket there just to allow you to kind of soften and relax a bit. And I think I will do that. So you fold it up as much as you need based on where your body's at. So you're going to just kind of draw, so your knees are apart and your big toes are together. And that's just where I like to be in child's pose. You can certainly take your knees together if you'd like, take them farther apart. You're just sitting your hips back towards your heels. Arms outstretched in front of you. And start to notice your breath. And cultivate that awareness with a deep inhalation and a deep exhalation. So to begin, I'm thinking about gratitude. We are just beginning to be more present so that we can really be with our thoughts. And here we are, turned inward here. Allowing us an opportunity to identify one thing that you feel grateful for in this moment. Doesn't have to be anything really big. It can be very simple. I mean, whatever comes to mind. When you breathe in, really sit with that feeling of gratitude. As you feel the breath just moving around the back of the body, the front of the body, and up into the shoulders and the arms, subtly shifting as you breathe in and out. And just take a couple more breaths here. With that sense of gratitude, that observation you've made about what came to mind that made you feel grateful today in this moment. And then on your next inhale, just slowly start to lift yourself up. Just walking your hands closer towards your torso. If you've got the blanket or the towel, just remove it, set it aside. And we're going to just come to a seated position. This is called Sukhasana. So just a simple cross-legged position. And take your hands on top of your thighs, your knees, and sit a little bit taller, pressing down through your sitting bones, drawing the crown of your head upward. And then on your inhalation, I want you to just broaden through the collarbones, drawing your heart forward. And then exhalation, rounding through the spine, drawing your chin to your chest. Inhale, bring it forward. And exhale, turn more inward. And here we are, just alternating between that kind of more introspective, pulling inward pose and the more expansive, broadening, sharing with the world pose. And just a version of cat and cow, just in a seated position. Getting a little movement through our spine, our shoulders. Just nice and slow. You're just moving with your breath. Nice and steady. Inhaling, coming forward. And exhaling, drawing back. I'm kind of leveraging my hands on my knees here too. So as I draw my heart forward, I'm pressing my hands into my knees to give myself a little bit more expansiveness. And that's just only if my body wants more. So you can absolutely do this and not exaggerate it and have it be just as beneficial. Give me just 2 more breaths here. So forward and back 2 times each. And after you finish that last exhale, just come back to center. Close your eyes and take your hands. Place one on top of each other on your heart. Taking that energy of gratitude and bringing it right to the heart space. Soaking it in as you breathe in. One more breath here. Just soften your hands down, and then we're going to make our way onto our backs. So when you're ready, just lay back, and we're going to come into figure 4. So from here, I want you to just first, with your feet on the mat, your gaze straight up, your knees are pointing toward the ceiling. You're going to just lift your right ankle up and place it on top of your left quad. And then from there, you might draw your knees closer towards your chest. And I like to take my right hand on this side, so my right knee is up. I'm going to take my right hand between my legs. Left hand is coming from the outside and capturing my left shin, or it can capture your hamstring. And then I'm going to pull in just a little bit, or I might just kind of allow my body to kind of just hang here. So I might not give it much of a pull. I want you to just open your hips for a moment. I'm thinking here, so your arms drawn forward, shoulders are going to round forward. Try to draw them back toward the earth. Giving your heart just a little bit more room to be a little bit more lifted and expansive. Just take one more breath here. And then releasing the hands, but keeping the legs how they are. And you're just going to drop your legs over to the left. And take your gaze over to the right. So your right arm can be extended long, or it can be bent with the elbow at 90 degrees. And you're just going to take the left hand to your heart. So the gaze can be straight up or to the side. Absolutely up to you. The hand on the heart. Really drawing in that sense of gratitude. Thanks for even being able to take time to practice yoga. A little self-care. breath here. And then we'll work our way out. Just switching the legs back so that the feet are down on the mat again, knees are facing the ceiling. And then we're going to take the left ankle on top of the right quad and draw the knees toward the chest, capturing either the hamstring or the shin with our hands. And just allowing any tension to just unwind here. And then drawing the shoulders down. And that may mean, if that's not accessible, it may mean you come out of that a little bit, that figure four piece, the hips, so that you can really release the shoulders down. Maybe just gently rock the head side to side to just signal to the neck that you don't need to be tight. Muscles in the neck have no job right now. Just breathe. It's as simple as that. Just inhale and exhale. And then release the hands, but keep the legs how they are. And just drop the knees over to the right and gaze over to the left. Left arm is out long, or maybe you bend the elbow. And take your right hand right on top of your heart. And bringing that, whatever it was that you identified as something that you're grateful for, just letting that energy just resonate throughout your body. With each inhale, you're sending that energy, that feeling into your body, throughout your whole body, allowing it to make its way into every cell. And then we'll go ahead and unwind ourselves, making our way back to center. And then drop both knees into your chest and just give yourself a squeeze. Wrapping your arms around your shins maybe. Nice big yoga hug. I'm grateful for our body. And then from there, we'll go ahead and just rock and roll a few times. Making our way all the way up to a seated position. And then moving our way into a supine position, or a prone position on our mat. Laying down onto the belly and moving into cobra. So I want us to practice cobra today, doing rolling cobras where we breathe in and release and come up and breathe out and release down. So breathing in, coming into the pose, breathing out, coming out. So to set up, you're going to take your forehead down on the mat. Hands are going to be right next to the shoulders. Let's take our feet about hip width distance and then press your hip bones down into the mat. And continue to press your hip bones down into the mat. Now press your feet down into the mat. Tops of your feet pressing down. Now press your hip bones down again. Nice and strong through the legs and the core. And then from there, on the inhalation, we're going to press our hands down and lift our heart up, shining our heart forward. Exhale, draw down. Good. Keep that nice strong energy through the legs and through the hips, pressing down, so through the core. And inhale, lift up. And exhale, coming down. One more time. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, draw down. Good, now just take your left ear to the mat. Let your arms relax down by your sides. And just close your eyes for a moment. And breathe. Just relaxing here. Taking our time. forehead back to the mat, hands back at your shoulders. And from there, this time inhale, cobra again, lifting up, pressing down through the pubic bone, through the tops of the feet. Exhale down. Now from here, walk your hands just a little bit wider, so there may be like on the edges of the mat. Inhale, press up, cobra. Continue to press down through the legs. Exhale, lower. Good. Now walk your hands a little bit wider yet, still in line with the shoulders. Inhale, press up. And exhale, lower. Good. Now gaze to the opposite direction. Arms by your sides. And just breathe here. Turn your forehead back down to the mat. Press your hands down to the mat to help you press yourself up into a tabletop position. So for tabletop, we're just going to take our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. And then from there, I'm going to have you take your right leg up and back. So you're just lifting it up and sending it back. And then from there, draw your knee forward and step your foot right between your hand. And then from there, let's go ahead and just keep the left hand rooted down to the mat. And just twist up with the right hand, reaching up. And then exhale, relax that hand down. And then take your hands on top of your thigh, lifting up into a low lunge. You won't be able to see my arms to be cut off by the camera, but I'm going to lift them up. And then just open up into a back bend. So the elbows come up nice and wide. Just lifting my heart a little bit more. And then exhale, plant the hands back down. And this time, we're going to just take that right leg and just send it straight back so that my toes are on the mat. My leg is extended long. And then my hands are underneath my shoulders. And then from here, I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to take it behind my head. I'm not pushing down on my head. I'm just kind of lightly placing my fingertips there. Now from here, I'm paying attention to my hips, and I want to make sure that they're both hip bones are pointing down to the mat. And then I'm going to press down into my right hand. So I'm drawing my shoulder blade, my right shoulder blade, away from my spine. And then I'm going to rotate as I continue to press really hard down into my right hand. I'm going to rotate my sternum over to the left. I'm not going to be able to move too much. I'm targeting my thoracic spine. It's not really meant to move a lot. And then exhale, draw your sternum so it's facing back toward the mat. Inhale, continue to press through your right hand. You're going to draw the sternum over to the left. Exhale, shine the heart back down. One more time. Inhale, draw open. And exhale, shine back down. Release the left hand down. Now we're going to take the left knee and draw it forward toward the right wrist, making our way into a half pigeon. Now keep your blanket nearby or your towel. I generally like having a little bit of support underneath my hip. So on the right side with my right knee forward, I'm going to take it underneath my right hip. It's going to allow me to just soften a little bit more into it. Come up, get nice and tall here. Feel the heart opening, broaden through your collarbones. Find that expansiveness. And then exhale, let's go more introspective and come down. All the way into sleeping pigeon. You can rest your forehead on top of your hands. I like to stack my hands. If this is too much, you can take your fists one on top of each other and rest your forehead there. And maybe you even just stay up on your forearms. And I want you to try to find that introspective pose. Coming back to that intention of gratitude. Noticing when you think about something you're grateful for, how that makes your body feel. The impact that an idea, that sense, that feeling of gratitude has on your body. As you breathe it in, and let that energy move throughout your body. settle into the hips. And always feel free to adjust. You can always take that blanket out. You can always fold it up more to have a little bit more support. And you can always lift up if you need. Enjoying that time, that sense of solitude right now. And maybe there's other things going on in the background for you. But at the end of it all, you are on your mat doing yoga for you. You are feeling your breath. You are experiencing that sense of gratitude as you focus on that intention. Let that be just about you and your body at this moment. Whatever it is that you've identified as something that you're grateful for. Let's take one more breath here. And we'll press our hands down. Slowly draw our torso back up. Take a moment here, lifting the heart, drawing the shoulders back. And then just kind of shift around, make your way back into tabletop. I'm going to extend my right leg long just to give it a nice counter stretch. And then I'm going to move my prop over to the left side because I know I'm going to need it from the other side in a moment. Good, so now back in tabletop. We're going to extend the left leg this time back, pressing through the foot. And then when you're ready, you're going to take that left foot over by your left hand, making your way into a low lunge. And then pressing down through the right hand, we'll rotate the torso, lifting the left arm up into a little twist. And then release the left hand down. Take your hands, place them on top of your thigh. Make your way into that low lunge. And then from here, let's lift the arms up again and open up into that back butt. Now when I'm opening up, I'm going to try to keep my ribs from flaring out. I'm going to keep my core tight, and I'm going to lift my heart. One more breath. And then releasing the hands down. I'll step my left foot back, nice and long on the mat. I like to tuck my toes and press back through my heel. It feels nice in my calf. Now from here, just checking in to get my hands right underneath my shoulders. And I'm going to check in with my hips. Make sure they're pointing down and I'm not rolling to one side or the other, but that they're pointing straight down toward my mat. Taking my right hand right behind my head, just very gently, just so I can feel the back of my head, but I'm not pushing down. Keeping the hips facing down, press down into your left hand more, and then rotate just a little bit. Just shine the sternum over to the right. Exhale. Point your sternum back down. Inhale, opening the heart to the right. Exhale, pointing back down. One more time. Pressing through that left hand, rotating, and then shine back down. And then release the right hand down. And then from there, we're going to take the left knee and draw it up and forward toward the left wrist, and then settle ourselves into half pigeon. So maybe taking that prop underneath the left hip, finding yourself balanced through the hips, heavy through the hips, and then opening through the heart, broadening through the collarbones, drawing the shoulders back, and then exhaling, coming all the way down, finding ourselves turned more inward here. Now, again, like absolutely shift around if you need to adjust your prop. It may be the case that this side is very different from the other, that you need more support, less support. Feel free to make those adjustments to make sure you're comfortable here so that you can really start to tap into that feeling of gratitude. Breathing it in, letting it move through your body. to reflect, to notice, to be aware. And when we have an intention like today with gratitude, we can be more purposeful with our energy, and really tapping in that emotional quality with the physical. Nice and steady with the breath. One more breath here. And then we'll start to lift. Start to rise all the way up, taking our time, pausing when our torso is upright, and then opening again through the heart. And then allow that prop to slide out from underneath your hip and make your way into a seated position. Very good. All right, so from here, I'm going to do a forward fold, and then right into a back bend. And we're going to do this on both sides. We're going to do it focusing on each leg in Janu Shirshasana. So right leg extends long, left foot is just tucked in right by the right inner thigh. You're going to gaze over the right foot, or over the right leg, looking towards your foot. Flexing your toes back towards your nose, lifting up a little bit taller, and if you feel like it would be helpful to be seated on a blanket, you can absolutely do that to get the hips up a little bit higher. And when you're ready, you're just going to start to melt forward with the spine straight, nice long spine. I'm just going to extend my heart forward, and then eventually I'm going to just kind of round over my leg. You can grab on wherever you connect to your leg. And that's not the point of not trying to reach toward the toes, but just to find just a nice inward forward fold. And you can just feel yourself a little bit more introspective. Noticing the sensations in your body. Areas that feel hot or cold. Tight. Relaxed. Whatever it is that's coming up for you, just notice. And then we're going to lift back up and go right into that back bend. So left hand comes behind us. We're going to lift up onto the left shin, circle the right arm up and open, and shine the heart. Hold here. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, let the hips come down, rotate yourself back down to the mat, and then get ready to switch up the legs. So now left leg long, right foot is tucked into the left inner thigh, and then we're going to face over toward the left leg, sitting nice and tall. And then starting to lean forward, keeping the spine long at first, and then eventually rounding over. Last time here, we're going to really think about whatever it is that's coming up for us in gratitude. Feel that energy and drawing it maybe to your heart, kind of summoning it to the heart as you breathe in. And then we'll lift up. Take the right hand behind us, lift up onto the right shin, open, circling the arm up and around, and just letting that sense, that energy of gratitude just resonate and radiate through our heart. soften down on the exhale. And then from here, you're going to set up for Shavasana. So take your blanket or your towel, and I'm unfolding mine enough so that I can roll it up. Just going to roll it about halfway. And then I might adjust it depending on how this feels. So about halfway, and then laying down right with that, how about right by the base of the shoulder blades. And then legs, you might take them a little wider if that feels good. I'm going to take my hands to my heart, just to begin, just to feel that energy. Let this roll, so if it's feeling uncomfortable, just reduce the roll so it's not quite as thick. It's just a subtle lift of the heart. And take this last bit here to feel that energy of gratitude run through your body. Originating in the heart. And you can relax your hands down by your sides. Letting the heart be open. Slightly lifted. As you lay here, allowing the body to be heavy, supported. Shift. We're going to stay in Shavasana, but I'm going to have you shift off this prop. So you're just going to take the feet and step them close towards your body as you take your knees over to one side. Just rest for a moment. And then just going to lift up enough to roll that prop back. And then lay back down so that now I can be flat. But what I'm going to do here is kind of shimmy my shoulders a little bit underneath me so that I'm creating my own support with my shoulder blades to lift my heart just a little bit higher. To rest here longer, feel free to stay right here. And if you're ready to come out, just wiggle your fingers, your toes, roll your wrists and your ankles. And then roll over onto one side. And from there, press up. Find a comfortable seated position. Thank you all for doing some yoga with me today. I am grateful for all of you, and I wish you all the best and gratitude. Namaste.